Hi everybody and welcome back to Adobe Live at the Illustrator Creative Challenge. This is challenge number 2. By the way, I've just done an intro by myself. I just forgot to press the live button, so probably 1 minute late or maybe 2 with the delay, and I'm going to try to refresh the page so hopefully I can see the chat and the amazing people here. Let me just see if I can manage to see the chat on Behance. And by the way, this is a good and great way to remind everybody that if you are watching from YouTube, it's time to head at behance.net/live in order to participate into the chat so I can read your comments, say hi, and here I am. I can see Michelle. Michelle, nice to see you. You were before at Rework It as well. Anthony Jackson, Steven, Jason Ross, Katrina, Brandon, and of course, the one and only Wade Acuff helping us in the chat, sharing all those amazing useful links. Fantastic. Susanna, Colleen, Steve, buongiorno, ciao, nice to see you. Mercurial, beautiful. It looks like we have our beautiful family here at Adobe Live with all these familiar faces and also some new faces as well, which is very, very nice. Let me know if it is the first time at the Creative Challenge, at the Illustrator Creative Challenge, and welcome. Let's get started by jumping real quick, going through the landing pages. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and perhaps I'm going too fast for this little introductory stage, don't worry, there is yesterday video that you can find here on the amazing landing page that will talk you through a little bit more the details of the Creative Challenge. But the most important thing is that I'm going to be here keeping you company for 2 weeks of Illustrator challenges in which we're going to be able to sharpen our skills and learn new techniques in the amazing Adobe Illustrator. And these challenges are open to beginners, intermediate, professionals. They're a great way to learn how to use specific tools in Adobe Illustrator. If you are a beginner, that's a great way to start. And if you are someone who already knows how to use Illustrator, this is the perfect way to kick off that personal project in order to spice up your portfolio. Wonderful. So let's actually get started about the landing page, which is behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And this is a great space in which you can take the challenge in order to get your reminder emails, but most importantly, scroll down and we have reveal the second card, which is modern logo, today's topic. We're going to be creating a very cool logo using the type tool and envelope distort. First and foremost, click on get started to download the started video so you can follow along right now, or maybe when you watch the replay in your own time, you get the same file that I get in order to work together. And to watch the replay, as I mentioned for yesterday's video, you can just simply click on watch video and you'll be able to watch the replay. Fantastic. Second part, real quick, is of course our community chat, Discord. This is the amazing place that's keep it here, in which you can share your work. As you can see, we have all the brand research and the mood board created by the amazing community, international space in which we can share our work in order to have feedback and in order to learn together. Fantastic. But it's time to jump in Illustrator, and I'm gonna see and have a look in the chat to see if there is any question. Yeah, Zed by Rick is saying, don't forget you can watch it later. Of course. Beautiful. Wade has placed the amazing Discord link in the chat, so you can just simply click and join. And I'll show you at the end of the stream how to submit your work and all of that amazing things. But let's get started. So if you did have download the starter file for today, you can see that we already started pretty much where we left yesterday. But for those of you who haven't joined yesterday and today is the first day, don't worry, I've done the work for you. I already created some colors. The only thing that is missing is the mood, because I just wanted everybody to find their images. But as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to repeat that real quick. You can find any images here from Adobe Stock simply by clicking on the Libraries panel. And by the way, if you do not know where to find any panels in Illustrator, just remember that they are all together under the window menu at the very top here. So under the window menu, you can choose window and then select any panel that you perhaps see on my workspace and you don't see on yours, where this is the place where you can find it. Just simply click on it and they will pop up into your workspace. Then click on the down pointing arrow, make sure that you search into Adobe Stock and use keyword in the search bar to search your files, just like so. Yesterday we used the keyword spring because, as I say, this is the theme of these 2 weeks. I'm gonna really try to attract all this warm ray of sun and all this warm day back here because, you know, we're a little tired of winter. I don't know if there is a snow where you're at. I'm based in Manchester, UK. By the way, let me know, is it cold or is it hot? Is it spring there already? Or we have to work a little harder to get the spring mood in our environment. And then once you add by clicking on the plus button, all you have to do is to drag your image inside the mood board, and you'll be able to use it as a reference when you talk with your client. Creating this sort of documentation really helps to narrate and help describe what you're actually doing with your work. Fantastic. So I've done already the work here. So already created some colors, some symbols and patterns, and some type. And in order to create the type, all you have to do is to click on the type tool from the toolbar and then click once in order to create a point type. And here you're going to be able to write whatever you want. All plants, flowers, and spring, so I decided to go for a plant shop, but up to you. I always get very excited by your ideas, so feel free to bring your creativity and into the challenge. I look forward to see what sort of brand name you're going to be looking at. But something that I'm gonna definitely be looking into today is a different font, which I don't know if you can see it, but like I noted on my hand. Here we go, plant shop, because I found it really nice font that I wanted to share with you. So in order to change the font, all you have to do is to head to the properties panel, and under the character options, click on the down pointing arrow to set the font family. So the one that I was looking for is called Benny Black. And if you don't find it here, so it looks like it's not in this machine, hopefully we can find it under Find More inside the library. And if not, we're gonna go with another one. I was just really curious about that font. We have a lot of fonts here. And by the way, as you can see, once you hover on them, the preview is already applied to your text. So all you have to do is to hover on the font to see the way that it looks like inside your text. Let me see if I actually managed to get to the one that I was looking for. Beba's New is also a very cool one. I have no idea how come it was. It was on my other computer, so it doesn't look like I have it in here. Or maybe it wasn't even an Adobe font. So let's select another one together. It doesn't really matter. I'm looking for something pretty much like this Beastly, which is a nice chunky text, a nice display. Usually for fonts that represent a logo, you really want to go with someone that is nice and readable, but also really bold to really become memorable and easy to memorize. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in because it's just the very bottom of the page. We have these lovely font that I've just seen a second ago. We have too many fonts. Here we go, Beastly. And it looks like it's not in my computer, because what I can see here is that I have a cloud and then a down pointing arrow, which is a way in which you can browse and activate fonts from Adobe Fonts directly into your machine simply by using Illustrator. So as you can see, I haven't even left Illustrator. I'm still in Illustrator and I'm browsing the Adobe Font Library. If you want to spend more time to research and refine your research even further, you can do that into Illustrator by using the filters that will allow you to select and classify, if you want serif, or maybe if you want sans serif, or if you want a slab, or how thick you want to letter. So look at that. I'm just going to show you real quick. It's a great way to right away sort of narrow down your research. And as you can see, there are so many fonts, so that will help you to narrow down and get right into the kind of fonts that you want. Don't forget to click on clear all. I do that mistake quite often. You need to clear all in order to be able to go back and search the other fonts, because otherwise your classification filters will still be on. Right, fantastic. Now let's have a look. I believe it was called Beastly. Here it is. It's already activated. By the time that we were talking, Adobe Font has updated all these Beastly fonts inside my library, ready to use in all my Creative Cloud apps. Fantastic. I can see that the time is running. So I'm going to go with this 16 point, which is also the weight because the size is then determined here by the size of the text. What I'm gonna do here is to actually select one of these texts and split it into different texts. So what I've done is selected the word shop by double clicking on it, and then I'm gonna select the selection tool, which is the black arrow, and press Command V to paste it into a different selection. I just want the text to be split in two for this little cool trick that we're gonna be using, which is called Envelope Distort. Press Command C to copy and Command V to create another copy, because we want to retain one text that is still editable, while this one will be outlined using the shortcut Shift Command O. That's Shift Control O if you're working on a Windows machine. Right, so as you can see now, we can jump from a normal view from an outline preview by pressing the Command Y, that's Control Y, and you can see the difference here. This text is still editable, so we can change it, we can add whatever we want. And this one here is already been changed into shapes, so we can actually have fun with it. To go back into normal mode, same shortcut, Command Y, Control Y if you're on a Windows machine. Right, beautiful. So what I'm gonna do here is to maybe leverage the space of my mood board here, so we have a little bit more space. And I'm gonna align my fonts just like so. Then I'm gonna select the ellipse tool from the toolbar. If you don't see it, it's probably nested until the rectangle tool. So all you have to do is to click and hold on the rectangle tool in order to activate the hidden tool, and then you can select ellipse. And click and drag in order to select the ellipse. To make it into a perfect circle, hold the Shift key and boom, here it is. We have a perfect circle right there. Now I'm going to use the pencil tool by pressing the letter N. And by the way, I like to give shortcut out. So if you want to work in a speedy way, in order to trigger the ellipse tool, all you have to do is to press the letter L in your keyboard, and here we go. You're going to be able to jump right away into the ellipse tool. For the pencil tool, which is also located here into your toolbar, you can press the letter N. And I'm going to make just a little wave. Perhaps it'll be better if we can make it a little bit more in the middle here of the circle, maybe something like that. And then I'm going to click and drag over the circle and the line, the path that I've just created, and then head to the Point Finder tool and select on the three dots to add to explore more option and select divide. By doing so, we actually divided the circle into shapes. I'm going to go ahead and select it, and from the fill and stroke control, I'm going to swap the fill which is black into my stroke, so we can actually see that we have used the line with the pencil tool to divide the element into. And then from here, I'm going to use the shortcut Shift Command G to ungroup, so we can select each side independently, just like so. And I'm gonna go ahead and move my plant word until the top part of the circle, and the word shop until the second part of the circle. Then make sure that your circle is on the very top. We need it to be at the very top above the letters, and we can use the shortcut Command Shift right bracket, that's Control Shift right bracket on Windows, to bring it up, to make sure that our text is sitting underneath the circle shape. Perfect. Let's click and drag and move everything a little bit more down here so we have more space, and then click with the selection tool on top of the top circle shape and hold Shift to add the word plant inside the selection. Now we can head to the object menu at the top, and then we can head to Envelope Distort and choose Make with Top Object. And look what happened here. The word plant is actually located inside the word shop. If you're not too happy about the way that is displayed, you can always Command Z undo that, and maybe you can perhaps make your text a little bit bigger or change position, or unfortunately I don't have the time to redo everything from scratch, but you can create different variation with the line. I find that quite useful. Having the line located into different angles really help with the way that your letters are displayed. So when you do your trial, make sure to repeat and to make a few circles and line. As you can see now, it's a little bit more readable, even just simply by tilting the text. So we don't have any sharp point up at only on one letter, because the T letter of the word plant was getting squished a little bit too much. And let's do the same. So you can click and drag to select them both. Remember, the circle has to be located on top. So select it, I use the shortcut Command Shift right bracket to put it on top, on front of the word shop. And then we can select them both by clicking and drag it on it with the selection tool, and click Object, and then Envelope Distort and make with top object. Boom, here it is. So we're already getting there. Now I want to add more spice into it. But before doing so, as you can see, we still have our circle path selected. How do we can now play with the actual letters? I want to go back and use the letters. Well, the first thing, all you have to do is to select the circle, both the above and below with the letters, then head to the object menu and click expand. Maya, I've seen your message there about not receiving notifications. Hopefully Wade can help, or maybe pass it to the amazing Adobe Live team and they can look into it. Unfortunately, I don't know for the email or the way that it works. Try to register again into the challenge. Right, so remember, object expand. In order to expand the letters outside, we're going to break the circle. So click OK, and here we are. We are back with our letters. And again, you can always test by using Command Y to check. Definitely check done. There are letters again, there are shapes. We've broken the circle. What I want to do now is to click and drag in order to select both top and bottom part of the logo, and press Command G to group it. Then I'm going to use the eyedropper tool by pressing the letter I in order to select one color here. I'm going to go ahead and select maybe this lighter yellow. You can even use the images to do so. And then from here, I'm going to press Command C to copy it and Command F to paste it. And then I'm going to change the color now into pink by using the eyedropper tool. And let's see, what have we done here? What is not changing the color? Remember, you can always either double click to enter the isolation mode to see what is going on, or the best way here is perhaps to ungroup. Sometimes that happens, as you can tell. And let's see what's going on. I want to make sure that I didn't change the color of the bottom. Let's do this again. So we created this first one. I'm going to press Command C to copy it and then Command F to paste it. And I'm going to try now with the color picker to see if we can change the color. Yes, we can. Fantastic. So I'm going to stick with this orange just because of time. Or by I think that the pink was the color of the brand. So use whatever color you want. Of course, I'm here just trying to do my best to show you all these amazing techniques. Now hold the Shift key and the Option key, which are Shift and Alt on Windows, while you drag one of the corner of the bounding box in order to make it the same text smaller proportionally, and also this in respective to the center. Then we're going to use Command Shift left bracket to bring it to the back. And then I'm going to hold the Shift key and select the text on top and head to the Object menu and select Blend and Make. And we are starting to see that there is a blend happening here. If you have any issues when making the blend, what I suggest to do is to select each single logo part of the type and make a compound path. By doing so, it will basically treat each single letter as a single path. So we'll compound them, and that will be so much easier when you create elements like the blend. As you can see already, we can see a different effect over here. If your blend doesn't look like mine, maybe you have different steps. All you have to do is to double click into the blend tool and make sure that you change to specified steps. And I usually go with something kind of grand, like 1,000 steps. Not because it's required, but because I just want to make sure that, look what happens if it's 10. Probably my computer preview is going to be a little slow, but what you're going to see is that we just have broken steps in between where we really want to create a smoother steps. So I want to make sure that I create something like 1,000 because that will work. And here we are, we're getting closer to the final look. Double click in order to enter the isolation mode, and right now we're selecting just the top part, and then press Command and just simply select it, and now you press Command C and then Command F to create a copy. And if you want, I think my computer is like, hey, you're doing too much too fast. So again, Command C, Command G, and you can also add another color here just to give a little bit more of depth to the image, just like so. Then what I've done also is to try to make the most out of the symbols and patterns that are part of the branding. And I was really loving these different shapes that we have created, especially this one here, which has this lovely look with the dots that almost expands, so they are smaller and bigger. So the first thing that I want to do is to head to the properties panel and make the stroke a little bit bigger so we can see, and maybe 2 points is enough. And then in order to use and really take advantage of the color of the brand, we can click and drag in order to select them, then head to the swatches panel, as every panel located under the window menu. And from here, we can click on this little folder icon in order to create a new color group, which I'm going to call Spring 2. And click on OK. And as you can see now, the swatches are available inside your swatches panel. So if I want to change the color of the stroke, all I have to do is to go to the properties panel, click on stroke and the color, and then you can select one of the color directly from the colors that belong to our little brand. Here it is. So what I was doing here, I was trying to place it around the shape because it looks like it is inflated, and I think that's quite a cool look, having, like, you know, also this sort of I think it's called fisheye lens with the text expanding. I think that those dots really convey this message. And then you can have fun with these other circles by creating a little bit more of movement. And again, don't forget to apply the brand color. So maybe here I can use the blue and give it like a 3-point. And I'm gonna also use the triangle. And by the way, if you see that I've just created a copy, all I've done is drag it with the selection tool while pressing Alt. And again, here I'm gonna apply another color, maybe the green. And here we are. I mean, our logo is looking pretty spicy. What do you think? Nice, vibrant, really exploding like spring, you know? That's the kind of feeling and vibe that I'm looking for. I saw a question. I have like 1 minute, but I really want to get to the question. I think it was regarding the dots, how the dots are made. Super easy. So let's take an example, this rectangle. All you have to do is to head to the stroke options. And as you can see here, there is a dashed line. If you make the dash of just 1 pixel, what happens is that it will be just like 1 dot, 1 point. So maybe make the gap 14 or something like that. But all you need to do is to make sure that your little dash is 1. And let me make sure that that's exactly. Of course, it gets also resized, so I don't know what I've done there, but just have a play with the dash line and make sure that you, it was 0.1. Here it is. I needed to select the correct, here we go. Yeah, so 0.1 will allow you to create a dot. So that's it. And of course, if you want the dots to be closer to each other, make sure that you make the gap smaller so you can have the dots closer to each other. But you just do it there. What is my favorite tool in Illustrator? Probably the gradient tool at the moment, but definitely I love playing with types. So this is my final look. Don't forget to share it on Discord. And I'm gonna go ahead and share this little, I've created this little artboard before when I was having fun with all this amazing tool. So this is my final, and in order to save it, all you have to do is to use the Option Command E shortcut. Oops. Option Command E in order to export for screen. Make sure to select only the artboard that you wish to export. So in this case, for me, is challenge number 2. Then from here, select the correct folder and select your destination folder, which is here. I'm going to use it in the desktop. Click on choose and make sure that you also give it a nice name. I'm just going to call it 000 so it's easy to find, but you use maybe challenge number 2 or something that makes more sense. Click on export artboard. And yesterday I showed you how to publish it on Discord. Today I'm going to show you how to publish it on Behance, and maybe if we can also on Discord. If you don't know how to create a new project for Behance, here it is. Click on create project, and you are going to be able to then click on image in order to add your images here. Let me head to the desktop. Here it is. That's my image. And click on open. Remember, to show your images full bleed on Behance, they need to be at least 1400 pixel wide. And then make sure to click on update project. Before doing so, head to your setting and use the project tags AI Creative Challenge. By doing so, here it is. I'm gonna zoom in real quick. By doing so, you're gonna be able to be found and maybe featured inside the Creative Challenge galleries. And feel free to head to the behance.net/galleries/challenges and then click on Illustrator in order to get some inspiration from the past design. I have a few seconds to show you how to add it inside Discord. Head to the Discord channel, click on the plus icon under the feedback challenge channel, and then simply select your image, click on open. I'm gonna say, call it challenge 02. Feel free to ask questions or to point out anything you want. And boom, it's done. Just by simply doing that, your image is ready to receive feedback, appreciation, and all these amazing comments from our community. Unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye. I had a blast as usual, and I'll catch you tomorrow, same time, for challenge number 3 in Adobe Illustrator. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.